Hello everyone, welcome to Star Motors of Ottawa, and today I'm happy to present the car that just landed with us. It's the 2025 Mercedes G580e. This one here is spec'd in the South Sea Blue Magno paint. So that's a very unique paint color, matte paint of course. It comes with a two-tone leather interior with black and gray. And then you have the accented blue stitching. And what I really like is the accented blue carbon fiber weave inside the car, just exclusive to the 580e model. Now, from the outside, you're gonna look at this thing and it looks very, very similar to your standard G-Wagon, which is something I absolutely love because if it ain't broke, why fix it? The only real subtle differences you're going to see if you really pay close attention are things like the grills. As you can see on the lower end of it, you can see the grills are a little bit different on the 580e model. And then the dead giveaway is when you take a look at the brakes, they're bright blue. And then outside of that, what I really love about the 2025 is the fact that they've finally added keyless entry on the car. So you can go around to any of the door handles. You have a little indentation, which I'll present to you in a minute. And then you can press that to lock and just grab the door handle to unlock. But they didn't go away with the standard things that the people love about the G-Wagon, like the noises and just the overall mechanical feel of when you actually go to open the door itself. The G580e has 4 electric motors, so 1 on each wheel. And then you get 580 horsepower and just right around 900 pound-feet of torque. Makes this thing good for 0 to 100 in right around 4.5 seconds. And doesn't sound like all that much, but when you consider the size of this thing and how it moves, it feels almost like a roller coaster. It's kind of crazy. It's a little bit silly if you ask me, but I love it. I'm all about that stuff. You get 120 kilowatt hour battery. You get right around 500 kilometers worth of range if you're not launching it like me and you drive it regularly. But what's super cool about this is Mercedes really didn't compromise anything with the car. So although it is electric, I would argue that this thing is even more capable than the gas-powered variant of it. And of course, as I'm sure you guys have all seen online with the introduction of this thing, it is capable of the G-turn. So what's really cool is if you're stuck on a trail and you really need to turn on your own axis, the car is capable of basically rotating each side in opposite directions, getting you to crawl and rotate 180 degrees, which is kind of astonishing, really. It's super cool. And then the overall focus of this thing with the off-road capabilities of it is something that I find really cool, and it's a really nice touch that I think Mercedes did. And to go further, this thing is reinforced by right around 2 inches of steel plating underneath the car. So really, even if you are, let's say, bouldering or you're off-road somewhere or anything like that, you don't have to worry about any kind of punctures in the battery or anything like that. And of course, being a G-Wagon, you're not compromising on anything here either. So you get massage seats, you get the leather upholstery that I was talking about, upgraded sound system as standard, 360 camera, all your adaptive features. So you get all your creature comforts, but consider this thing a bit more on steroids than your standard G-Wagon. So it just takes it up a notch. To be honest with you, it's a bit of a bittersweet moment for me because this, to me, solidifies Mercedes' commitment to going green, and it's almost a look into the future of what Mercedes is going to be doing and what they're capable of doing. And I say bittersweet because I'm a big old school, big V8 type of guy. But at the same time, when you get into something like this and you get to drive it, it is such a cool experience to be able to see with the regenerative braking, with all the acceleration, with all the cool tech that you get behind the wheel. It makes it a lot easier of a pill to swallow. I find myself behind the wheel of the G580e, and I was just telling my colleague, the more seat time I spend with this thing, the more I like it. So I mentioned a moment ago that it's a bit of a bittersweet moment seeing Mercedes execute so well on this thing, and part of me didn't want to like this car, right? Being the old school car enthusiast with always wanting like the no replacement for displacement, big engines, lots of noise, lots of this, lots of that. For what 99% of the population is going to use this thing for, these things are city slickers. As capable as they are, nobody ever really takes these things off-road and uses them to their fullest capabilities. I think there's no better execution than the G580e. Just because, you know, it's basically all go and no show. You're not really attracting too much attention to yourself. You have all the power in the world. You have everything you need, as I mentioned earlier, all the creature comforts, all the nice finishings. And I would argue that this thing probably drives a bit better than the G63 does, just because it's so smooth. Like, you could do the one pedal driving, there's instant torque all the time. It's actually a really, really nice experience. And as I mentioned, when I first saw this thing, I did not want to like it, but the more seat time I spend, the more it's absolutely growing on me, and it's evident to whoever buys this car, or anybody looking at this car, they're absolutely not going to regret this decision, just because of all of the things, all the boxes this thing checks off. When you look at these things on paper and you see them in photos and stuff, it's hard to understand what makes this car so special. Truly, when you get up close and personal with it and you experience it for yourself and you just see Mercedes's overall execution on this car, it makes you really appreciate what they've done, and it makes me personally very excited to see what Mercedes has in store for their future cars, right? Obviously, we know that Mercedes is doing a big push on electrified. They're electrifying a lot of their AMGs. Of course, now we're sitting in the electric G-Wagon. It's hard to beat Mercedes's execution, especially when you look and you feel a car like this. Again, I could talk your ear off all day about this car, but I strongly suggest you come see for yourself what makes this thing so special. If you weren't a believer, you're gonna leave a believer in this car and the future that Mercedes has in store for every consumer.